Hello everyone, welcome to a new tutorial presented by the SA Charles VB. In this tutorial, we are going to learn how to create our own functions with octave programming. Initially, I've told you that I have created my function sine d because you know that sine and cosine functions, when you have this, you have the sine function. We have the cosine function, and we have the cosine function, and we have the tangent function, the tan function. Now these functions here are only taking their values as radians. The values which are entering inside this function are radians. So I decided to create a sine function which will take a degree. So this is why, let's say I have, you know that the corresponding value for 90 degrees let's say the corresponding value of pi is 180 degrees. So we say, you know that sine normally takes the value of the value in radians. So I'll write pi here. So the value will give this. So this is actually the function when you have pi. Now my function I've created is sine d, and sine d I place 180 inside is going to give and 0. So this is even more precise. The value is still going to be 0 because this is approximately going to be 0. Let's try again with sine 2 pi. So 2 times pi here. So you have this is going to give this, and let's try again with my function I've created sine d into let's say this is 360 degrees. 2 pi is 360 degrees. You have this and 0. See that even the sine d is even much more precise compared to this sine of 2 pi. So now we can now start in by using to see how to create these functions. So how do we create our own function sine d and sine? So let's say I want to do again sine d of 30. So sine d of 30 is going to give 0.5, and this is actually what is going to be sine degree. So let's see how to create our own functions. In order for us to create our own function, we need to come on this down bar here and go to editor. Now in editor, we are going to create our own function. Let's say we want to create a function which is going to form the cos of the degree, So enter here. We are going to have file. We are going to open a new file. So no, not open, we create a new file. So new function, we can say. Now when you want to create a new function here, you can write the function name. So let's say our function name is cos degree. So cos d as such. So that's the function that everybody is going to use. It's going to be cos d. So it's giving us, so we are going to remove this. So this is the format for having cos d here. If this. So we don't have one this. So I'm going to cancel this and create a new file. So I'm going to, you can create a new file just by pressing this button here. You press it, you create your new file. When you have created your new file, you just come here now and you can write in your code. So you create your new file. Let's start again. You have this file, you open this a new file, then you come and save the file. You save the file as the name of the function you wish to have. It's cos d. So in this case, I don't want again cos d. I will say yes cos d. I will take again cos d because it was created initially. I will save already exists, so I want to produce again another one. So you have this cos d as being your function. So what I will do now is to write the code of cos d now into this. So how do I write? So I will first start by initializing function. So I'll write the word function here. When I write function, I will say c is equals to function c is equals to, I write cos d in bracket angle as such. So this this second on the left hand side, here is what you're going to use in your code here in order to program for your function. So on the left hand side, this C, you are going to use it in your code here in order to program your function. On this right hand side, this code Z is what the user is going to use in order to write the code of degree format. So when you have this, you can enter. So you have end function is given to you. Now you say now, so we have now to code our program here. So we say now this C is what is going to use in order to code the function we want. So we're going to say C is equals to, so we have C is equals to, now I'm going to paste the cost of something, cost into, before we enter into it, I'm going to first start by converting the angle in from the normal angle into angle in radian. So what happens is that the user is going to enter the angle here in degrees, but we know that the cosine, the normal cosine takes the angle in radian. So I'll first, this is the value of the angle in degrees. So I'm going to try to convert the value of angle in degrees into angle in radians. So I'll do this, angle rad is equals to, now to convert from angle in degree to angle radian, we are going to use the formula, pi in bracket pi times the angle in degrees. So we have angle here, so I can place here even angle deg to say that angle is in degrees. So I'm going to use this angle deg here. Now angle in degrees all divided by 180. So I'll convert first the value of the angle that the person is going to enter into angle in radian for me to use in my new function. So I'll do this. Now I will say that my new function C is instead equals to the cos of the angle in radian. So the cos of angle, so the angle now in radian. So you have this semicolon. So you have, this is my new function. So I use this left hand side in my code, and this right hand side is what is going to be used by the user on this interface here, on this command window. So I have this. Now in order for me to continue, I will save first as cosd.m. So I will save the same name as what the user is going to use. So cosd here, they're the same name. You have to make sure that they have the same name, else an error is going to be shown to you. So when you have saved the same name, you come here and run, you save. When you save, you come here now on the editor, you have cosd add line that. Now I can come here and write cos d now of, let's say, 60 degrees. So you see that the value is showing up to you. So you have cos d of 60 degrees 0.5. You have cos d of 30 degrees. Cos d of 30 degrees. So cos d of 30 degrees, cos of 30 degrees is actually 0.86. So you can have again cos d of 180 degrees. So of 180 degrees, so an error is because I didn't write cos very well. So I write again cos d of 180 degrees. So I have this, you have -1. So you can come again and write cos d of after 180 degrees, I can instead write 360 degrees. So you see it's 1. And lastly, I write cos d of 0. It gives me cos d is cos d of 0. It gives me 1, 2. So you see that this is actually the value of the different cos you can have. And now I can use this cos d to plot the graph I'm going to use in the next part. So from here we've seen that you have created a function. When creating a function, in order for you to create a function, you are going to have a left hand side and right hand side. This right hand side is what is going to be used by the user in this interface, and this left hand side is what you are going to use in order to write your function. So I'll say C is equals to cos of angle in radian. Now angle in radian is the angle that the person is going to enter. I need to convert it first in radian and then pass it into it. So what I do is that I take the value it enters in my cos Z, I convert it into radian, then I do it. So I indirectly use the angle in radian in my function. So when I do it, I need again to save cos D in .m, and I said initially that .m is when it's a file that is an octave file. After doing this, I can now come in my command window and then use the different formats, the different applications with cos Z, cos 30 degrees, cos 180 and all that. So from here, this marks the end of creation of our function in octave programming. Thanks for your kind attention.